Well, today I've come out into the middle of nowhere. Well, it looks like the middle of nowhere, but it actually isn't, for safety reasons, which I will tell you in a second. And I've come out to a site that I haven't been to for a very long time. There is some water over in here, to be very, very careful of that, because I don't know how frozen that is. I'm really not quite sure how frozen that is. But it's a very nice spot. Not been here for a very long time. But it's certainly very nice. I like it here, it's a good spot. Now, for safety reasons, because it is currently minus chuffing cold, my car is just over there. Normally my site that I go to is about 6 kilometers out, but it is currently into the minus very colds, and that is not wise to head out there this time of the year. But, I will save that for another day. But, safety is always number one. Well, today I have bought some stuff along. I have a new toy. I bought myself the Kettle Scout. So I will get all this set up and I'm going to run through some stuff that I've done. Make sure you always wear a Dillock hat. But, the reason it's called a Dillock hat is because when you're wearing it you look a right Dillock. Now, as I say, I bought the Kettle and I bought the Scout model. One thing that I have noticed in every one of the videos that I have seen of this kettle is everybody has trouble getting his bag off because everything falls apart. Well, I was looking at that and thinking, well, the reason it falls apart is because people put it in there the right way up. If you put it in there upside down, very simple, all your bits and pieces fit right in there. And this is an absolute struggle to get out of it. See? Doesn't get much easier than that. So these pieces I'm going to put over here. I have put a couple of elastics on there. I do have to work in gloves at the moment, I'm afraid, so bear with me because it is too cold not to have them. Yep. Right, now the kettle, as anybody knows, comes with these nice little bases, which I think is absolutely brilliant because I can set that up on here. Let's find a nice flat area. I can set that up on here. That'll fit on there nicely. There is not a chance in hell I'm going to damage this table because the wood on this table is currently minus extremely cold. Let's find a flat piece. There we go. Minus extremely cold. There is no wind, so it's not going to make any difference which way around I put this. Now, for years and years and years, I looked at the Kettle and it's something that I've always wanted. Always wanted one, but I've never actually had a use for one because I have my Ohuhu stove. I have my little propane stove, my Peak one and all that. I've got all those kind of stoves. However, I didn't have one of these. So I've made some modifications because to me, safety is number one. I'm just checking, make sure that battery's not freezing. I bought tea with me today, but I can't bring milk because the milk, you can always tell when people are making videos they say minus 40, minus 50, and you see them pouring milk. If you come out here with eggs, milk, anything like that to make tea, it will be frozen by the time you need to do anything with it. Very, very simple. The advantage of our snow here is I can literally just blow that snow straight off of the tent. Now, this bench is extremely cold, so sitting on it would not be fun. So, as anybody knows me, I always have my tarps and everything with me, and today my tarps are going to be a chair. Yep. Very important to make sure that you are insulated from the surface, because if you're not, well, you're in trouble, big trouble. I am going to just move that around a little touch that way because I need to sit on the end here because I don't want to be putting my legs under there because that is going to be cold, like seriously cold. Yes, it is freezing out here today, so I do have my tarp, so I'm going to sit on my tarp. This is going to be my chair, right? So, what's It's going to be the best way to show you what I've done. Best way to show you what I've done is going to be if you can actually see what I've done. So we'll set that up like that. How about that? That looks better. Right. Oh, there we go. That's better. So as I say, I have made some changes to this kettle, and safety is number one. The one thing that I see, I'm going to have to take my gloves off just to do this piece. It is currently, where I'm sitting, is about the same, ouch, is about the same temperature as sitting in my deep freeze at home. So I can tell you now, touching metal in this is cold. So I want to make sure safety is number one. Right. When you lift these kettles off, you lift it like this, right? And something that struck me is there are 2 or 3 videos that I have seen out there in YouTube land where people go to take them off like this and their hand is right above it, and you see them all do the same thing. Ouch, burn, ouch, burn. But they actually publish those videos, and I'm thinking, why would you do that? So I've made a slight modification. I'll bring this around here so you can see it a little bit better. What I did is I got a key ring, just a normal key ring that is slightly larger than the wooden handle, because the handle was tapered in the middle. You can just slide that over the key ring, slide it over there, and attached to that I put a little carabiner, just one of those little cheap carabiners. Down on the bottom hook I installed another key ring so that I can install that like that. So now there is not a chance in hell I can put my hand over the top of that, because out here in the middle of winter you get a burn. You could be out in the middle of nowhere, you get a burn, that's now serious. If you're on a long hike and you burn yourself, that's now a serious injury. You are turning around, you are going back, because if you don't, you could be in serious trouble. So by putting that on there, that does 2 things. Right, Kelly's official way of lifting this is like this, and that is correct. They have the chain on here for you to tip the kettle to pour the water out, which I thought to myself, you know what, I need to be able to also do this one-handed. So with doing that, I can lift this and tip it easily, see, like that, one-handed, just by putting this little chain on here. The other thing that this does is, if I was in the campsite and I wanted to hang this up somewhere, I can just hang it on a hook, put it on a guy line, your line going across the front of your tent, your ridge line, whatever. You can just hook that right on there. And it's I'm going to have to put my gloves back on, because I can tell you now, touching this metal is extremely cold. I do have, over here, I do have my mitts. Anytime you're going anywhere this time of the year, because I can still work, I can still put my mitts on, but these will keep your hands good. Are these really good quality mitts? No, they're not. They're sheep wool on the inside, but I can tell you now, I've been out minus 30, minus 40. These were 15 bucks, I think they were. So it's very cheap, but I tell you what, they'll save your hands. Yeah. Now, so I added that for safety on here. Very simple. And now I've put the carabiner on there. You can't slide the keyring off. See, it won't slide off, it stays in the middle. So for a good safety thing, that is not a bad thing to do. As I said earlier, the reason I haven't bought a Kelly kettle prior to this is the Scout model. The original one was really big, right? I had no use for something that can boil that amount of water. It's absolutely no use whatsoever. However, what changed this, because I like to have, the equipment I like to have multiple uses for what I have. This is what changed it for me. The hobo stove attachment. That simple addition was a total game changer, and that is why I bought it. You've got the nice little pot thing here, and I have the grill, which I'm going to be using later, and I can put that either on here. I've seen a lot of videos where people put it down in here like this. That's great. You've got a small bed of coals in there, and I think that's where it's actually designed to go. I like to be away from the heat a little bit more, so there's no reason why you can't put that on there, and that's exactly what I'm going to do later. This came with 2 plates, 2 cups, a pot, a lid, all kinds of goodies. It was really, really nice kit, very, very well thought out, excellently made. I mean, it's absolutely fantastically made. I was watching a video, the guy, one of the family, the Kelly family, that still runs the company. I think Pat Kelly was the guy that originally invented it back in whenever it was, end of the 1890s, something like that. And the Kelly family still run it. And I was watching the thing, and these are now made in China. And I can tell you now, the quality of the build of this, and the welding, apparently this is all laser welded under here. The quality of the build of this is insanely good. It really is insanely good. They were saying to retool their factory from aluminium to stainless would have cost €250,000. And but let me tell you, that was a very wise decision, shifting production to China, because the quality is insanely good. It really is really very, very good. Now, anybody that knows me will know that I have a vast amount of wood pellets. Again, gloves are coming off. So my Ohuhu stove, anybody that follows my channel will know that, listen to that plastic, will know that I use the Ohuhu stove a lot with wood pellets. So my question was, can I run this stove on them as well? So I have a whole bunch. I bought a bunch with me. I have a sneaking suspicion the answer to that question is yes, it will work perfectly well, because let's face it, it's only wood. Yeah. And also in here I have this piece of cardboard. Let's chuck that in there if that will go. Oh, there you go. Oh, it's frozen. Part of my emergency fire lighting kit. I always have bits of cardboard, bits of paper, but all of this is just frozen solid. It is seriously cold. It is beyond cold. So I am going to get a fire going. Put some smaller bits of this. These are just wood offcuts that I have. I've got boxes and boxes of these bloody things. Without further ado, my hands are bloody freezing. So I need some heat. So let's get some heat. Oh. Anybody that knows me will know. Cotton balls and Vaseline. Never yet found a better way to light the fire. Don't suspect I ever will. The secret in this weather is, if your fingers are completely and utterly numb, is to actually be able to use these tools. Why it's very important to have heat. We as human beings cannot survive without heat. Heat keeps us alive, and it can also kill you. So I am going to get this going, because can't do this without heat. So I'm not one of these people that likes to time everything and how many seconds did it take to boil this and all that. I'm not into all that. What I want to know is, does it work? And I can tell you now, it does. So I need to get this water in here. This is still liquid water because I've just come out of my car. If I'd have walked 6 kilometres to where I needed to go, I would have needed to defrost this water. So. That is 1 litre. So, little arrow facing down. I love this. That is brilliant. Any Brit will tell you that that is just absolute magic. Whoever put that whistle on there, that is just brilliant. So I'm not going to waste that heat. See how quickly that flame comes out the top of here? Right? If you had that handle over the top of there, you are going to burn yourself, no question whatsoever. So, like I say, I'm not one of these people that times everything. What I do have, anybody that knows me, is my hot water bottle. And in order to have my hot water bottle, I need to have my coat done up. Because I can tell you now, it's bloody cold. Yeah. Oh, it's not just cold, it's bloody cold. Yeah. So, I do have some food with me today, which I'm going to be cooking on the hobo stove. And I'm going to warm this up. The thing I like about this little piece in the bottom here is this is a wooden table. With my Ohuhu stove, I cannot do this on a wooden table. I do have in my car, I have a baking tray, a square baking tray, and if I'm out anywhere like this and I'm using the Ohuhu stove, I do actually use my baking tray to make sure that it doesn't damage it. So I don't want to damage the tables, you know. It's the last thing I want to do. But what I do want is some heat. I can see lots of flame in there. Now this, we have to make sure is not too tight. Let's see how my fire is doing. Oh yeah. Now, as I was saying, humans need heat. No heat, we die. You have too much heat, you also die. So you've got to make sure you got the balance right. So it does come with a handy little pot grabber, which is nice. It's all made out of the same gauge material. It's obviously all out of the same punch press, I should think. Yeah. So the ice forming on here already, where it's touched the snow. That metal is so cold. Yeah. It does come with 2 cups. I have bought the smaller cup with me today. I am going to be making tea, but like I say, I can't put milk in it, so it's going to be black tea. I do have food. Whenever people come out and do things like this, you'll see the thumbnail, -20, middle of nowhere, blah 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 blah, some girl in a bikini, just to get you to click on the site. The reality is, like, I'm sat on my tarp. If I wasn't sat on this tarp and I was sat on this wood is currently -15, -18 degrees, whatever it is. So if you sit on there, it's going to suck all the heat out of your body. You lose heat through conduction, convection, radiation. You do radiate a certain amount of heat. So in order to conserve heat, you've either got to eat food to generate heat from the inside, cook food, warm food going in, warm drinks going in, big campfire. But sometimes you can't just have a great big campfire. You don't need necessarily a great big campfire. The wood pellets in here do seem to be burning. They do seem to be catching, so that's good. I have an absolute abundance of wood pellets, and this is actually a great excuse to get rid of some. So yeah, don't worry about that. That's nice. Yeah. Now I do have. My hands are so bloody numb. But just be careful, because it is a balance between being able to do things and not. So I do have this. I've shown people before. A friend of mine bought me this. This is absolutely brilliant, love it. Oh, she's roaring in there now. Yeah, this is a great little tool. Fire tube, striker, has a ferro rod in the end of there as well. Like I say, my hands are so bloody numb. I keep checking to make sure the light's still going on the GoPro, because I'm not sure how well that's going to do in this super cold. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that is good. warming up pretty good. I'm impressed. Now the first part of the water, when you do the first, this is its first boil obviously, they recommend that you chuck the first lot of water out, but me being me, I'm not chucking away good water, so especially good hot water. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that in my ever trusty hot water bowl. Anybody who's never seen my videos, I did one the other week. Survival tool is the Ohuhu stove, a survival tool. Can you get enough heat from a Ohuhu stove to survive? Can you get enough heat from a Kettle? Yes you can, because you can put it in a hot water bottle and you can put it inside your jacket. When this cools down 3 or 4 hours later, there's nothing stopping you sticking it back in there and warming it back up, right? So as I say, heat is something that humans need. No heat, we die. Let's get rid of that snow. This is a bit of an out the way place, but it is also not totally deserted. I can actually hear another vehicle over there. There is a piece of a road through the forest over that way. Like I say, my normal site that I go to is some blood going in my feet. My normal site that I go to is about 6 kilometre walk. So in this weather, not going to happen. So let's have a look, see how my fire is going. Oh yeah, not bad at all. I do have lots of these chunks of wood. Got lots of these. That one's not going to break, but I'll put that on there anyway. Now, I do see people when they're doing this, they start chucking lots of big sticks down in the top, and they're big long sticks. So when they take the kettle off to do anything with it, all the big sticks fall out. What's the point of that? Complete waste of time. So if you're going to drop sticks down the top, drop short ones down, because then you can lift it on and off and you don't have a problem. But, I can tell you now, oh, that is so nice. Oh, yes, yes, yes. The little base piece that they give you, you can also stick in the top and use it for warming food. I don't think you'd be able to cook too much food on that, because whatever you cooked on it, you'd have to be able to cook it really fast, because this thing boils water quick. Yeah, I can already hear the water in there making noise. I can tell you now, whoever's idea it was to put the whistle on it, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Love it, because obviously the most important thing when you're out in the middle of nowhere doing survival stuff is tea, and to have a whistling kettle to a Brit making tea doesn't get no better. Yeah, I can feel the heat coming off this now. This is actually nice. Oh yeah, she's getting pretty toasty. I can actually hear the water in there rumbling. I can feel it rumbling. Oh, that is good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to warm this water up. I don't necessarily want it totally boiling. She's bubbling away in there a good one. Right, so that on this knife. I'll tell you now, that is nice on the gloves. So safety first. Safety is always number one. Always, always, always number one, no matter what. Safety is number one. So whenever you're doing stuff, always plan what you're going to do before you do it. Yeah. So I think that's probably hot enough. I don't need it completely boiling, so I'm just going to take that off of there for a bit. Like I said, I'm not too worried about the wood on here because the wood is currently minus bloody cold. Oh yeah, she's toasty. Now we've got to be able to pour this. Let's get that chain and that out of the way. I've got to be able to pour this safely into there. So I'm going to see if I can do it just with one hand with my little adaptation there, my adaptation. Can I do it with one hand? Because yes, boiling water will keep you alive, but also boiling water on your hands out here could be a serious problem. Which is why I'm now standing up, because if anything bad happens, I can just jump out of the way. Oh, we are nearly full. I'm just going to move this across to the end of here. I don't know if it's still in shot. Apologies if it's not. Like I say, safety is number one. Yes, I like that chain idea. Oh yeah. They do say you're supposed to throw away the first oil in the water, as I've just said. Not going to do that because I can use this hot water, and whenever you're using these hot water balls, just give them a little sit down like that, and the idea is you want to be able to see the water coming up into the top, and you can put the bung back in. Make sure it's trying to keep my fingers out the steam. There we go. And always turn your hot water bottle upside down. Make sure nothing's leaking out of there. Right now, this is where the good bit comes in, because I can now sit back down. I can take my hot water bottle. Oh my god, that's nice. Stick it in here. Toasty, toasty, warm. And as I say, the most important thing for survival is heat, and I can tell you now the amount of heat coming off of that soaking into me now, oh, that is just beyond amazing. Right, so move that around so that we're not doing any damage. So next thing, hobo stove. Let's get the ice off it. This is what made it into, those wood pellets are actually burning quite nice in there. Yeah. Quite impressed. Yeah. So, to me, the game changer for this product was this hobo stove attachment. That really was the game changer. That's what convinced me. Get some blood moving in my feet. That's what convinced me that it was actually a really good idea to get one of these. Simply because of that. That's a game changer right there. I can tell you now, the wood pellets in the bottom there are actually doing very well. So, in the interest of using up more wood pellets, see if I can pour some of those in there without melting the plastic. Ooh, that wasn't so clever. That wasn't so clever. Either way. Right, so lesson learned. When pouring in the wood pellets, don't pour them near the hole. So there's no fancy editing in my videos. What you see is what you get. Yeah. Yeah, I don't do all the fancy editing and cutting in and out of this and You won't see me walk into a site. You see the camera walking through the trees, and then you see them walk past and then back the other way and back the other way and back the other way. What you don't see is they've only actually walked about 20 feet. They just shot it from several different angles to make it look good. However, I don't do that. But, what you see in my videos is what you get. It's simple as that. So my plan is to see if I can get enough coals in here to actually cook some food. That is my plan. I have seen there are some very good channels out there for cooking on these things, and there's a guy, what is it, pitch it, moor it, and drive it or something, I don't know. It's anyway, pitch it, pour it and moor it or something is called. Brilliant channel. That guy does some amazing cooking on these things. Do I need to bring skillets and onions and chop it all up? No, because that just makes me into an outdoor cooking show, and that is not what I am. I just bring people along to show them what crazy things I do on the weekend. And it's oh, here another vehicle. This is currently, where are we? Tuesday. Today? Was it Tuesday or Wednesday? Can't remember. Either way. So today's plan is to come out, keep toasty warm. That hot water bottle is so nice. You've no idea how good that is. And that amount of heat will keep your body good for hours and hours and hours. That hot water bottle will stay hot for probably 4 or 5 hours. And then if I need to, I can just chuck it back in here. Job done. Yeah. Do I need to at the moment? Nope. I very much like this handle. I think that is very, very good. I like that. Now, where did I put these? These are a little bit overkill for that. However, got some more wood pellets, got some bits. Just gonna let that die down in there a little touch, because in here I have some food. Food's already freezing up. It's this way, when you see these people doing this -20, this, that, and everything else. This is the bit of it you never get to see, right? You never get to see this side of it. I have bread in here now, which is starting to freeze up. In here I have food. Little ties there. I am in need of some food, so I do have sausages in here. I'm going to make a sausage butt in a minute, but I need some food first, because I'm getting cold. So anybody that knows me will know that I'm an absolute fan of sausage rolls. I'm just going to check on this camera, see whether it's still recording or actually it's frozen. No, it is actually still recording. Well, I'll be. So it's only fitting that the first food that I cook with this is a sausage roll. Just trying to keep the wind off the back of my neck. This is why these hats are good. Yes, they're called Dillock hats because you look a complete Dillock when you're wearing one. However, I can tell you now, this thing has saved my rear end many, many times. Yeah. That does actually give you enough heat to keep your hands warm. Yeah. It is actually warm enough so that I don't have to put my gloves on. I am having to keep my feet moving though. One of the things people do is they'll sit still. You can't see it, but I'm continually doing this with the toes. Yeah, just keep the circulation going. So I can tell you now, if you get out and you get cold and you can't walk, you die. Very simple. This reminds me of a event that happened, I think it was last year. A young guy out in Norway. He was out camping and he got caught in a blizzard. And unfortunately, the snow was really, really bad. And he made the decision. He was only a kilometre or so, I think, away from his vehicle to try and get back to his vehicle for safety. And that is why my vehicle, I can almost see it through the trees. It may look like I'm in the middle of nowhere, but I can assure you I'm not. My usual site that I go to is about 6 kilometres down. Oh, that's cold when you take that off. Yeah. My normal site that I go to. My ears are going to keep warm. They're going to keep warm. Maybe, yeah. So, oh, that is warming up nice. So the that young guy, Storm de Brule, I think his name was. He was out in the middle and he was trying to get back to his car. And one of the messages he sent back to, I think, to his grandmother, was he'd got snow down his boots. As soon as I heard that, I knew the guy didn't make it. Because if your feet freeze up, which is why I'm keep doing this, if your feet freeze up, you can't walk. Out here, minus bloody cold, like I say, it's minus 15, minus 18 at the moment. If you can't walk, you die. Very, very simple. So never underestimate it. That's why it drives me nuts when I see these people. Well, I think that's done. Ah! Oh my god, that is good. Oh. That is really good. Mr. Kelly Kettle, if you're watching this, you get my seal of my approval. Cook sausage rolls. Everything's good in the world, in my book. If you can cook sausage rolls, get them hot. Oh. That is chucking off a surprising amount of heat. My Ohuhu stove, which I have, and it gives off next to no heat. It's brilliant for cooking because it's a gasifier and it cooks really nice. But it gives off no physical heat that you can really use unless you do the water bottle trick. This does. I'm impressed. It not often do you come across things that are just technically brilliant. If you look at, there are certain things that reach the pinnacle of their design. Look at a bicycle, 2-wheel, saddle, handlebars. It's hard to beat that. You can change the materials, you can put different gears, but it's still a bicycle. The Singer sewing machine, built to last forever. There's no reason why this would not last you an entire lifetime. I can't see of any way. I mean, I put the little extra chain on here just for my own safety and to make it easy. That way I cannot possibly burn my hand on there. Yeah. Oh, fuck, that's hot. Excuse my language. Holy shit. There is no way that you can really improve on that design. You can change materials. You can change sizes. The big Kelly kettle, the 1.6, this holds 1.2 litres. The big one I think is 1.6. And the small one, the Trekker, is 0.6. The Trekker was a little bit too small for my needs. This I think will be absolutely perfect. Oh, that is so nice. It's doing very well on the wood pellets. Getting rid of some of them. Yeah, that guy didn't make it. And, as soon as I heard snow in the boots, I knew he wasn't going to be able to walk. And sure enough, he couldn't. Very tragic. This is why I get annoyed sometimes when I see these people making videos. -20, nothing but a dishcloth and a candle, and I survived. No, you didn't. You died. Very simple. You go out doing that kind of thing in this temperature. I mean, this is gold. I mean, I literally, my car's right there. But that is for safety reasons. If I was out here and fell over and smacked my head on the ground, what do? Yeah, my car's only just over there. If I can't get to it, I still die. Yeah, very simple. One of the advantages here is the sun is supposed to come out later. And over that way, there's an area where people quite often come for a walk in the winter and what have you, take their dogs for a walk. And if people have got their dogs with them, the dog will alert very, very quickly to things that humans don't pick up on. Now, it does have a pot thing. Aha, that answers that question. Let me chuck in another couple of kits. Just want some flame in there so we're not making too much smoke. Yeah. And again, I don't know if you can hear that. There's another vehicle. Yep. So yes, I'm out making these videos in what appears to be in the middle of nowhere. But I do know that this particular spot that I've picked, I do know has traffic, has vehicle traffic on it. My bread is freezing, so I better get on and make this. Yeah. What I have in here, a tea obviously, and in here I have some sausages. Which way around is that going to go? That way around probably. Got some sausages in here. So I do have bread and ketchup. Did remember the ketchup. Honestly, I don't think it's going to take very long to do those. So, sausage butty it is. Yeah. Should be brown sauce. I do apologise for the people, the purists out there, but I only have ketchup. I haven't got brown sauce in the little packets. So my plan with this is to A, not freeze my hands off. My theory is, because this has bars in it, obviously, I can just keep rolling it across the bars to where the heat is good, and warm that through, and make a nice sausage butty. Yep. Oh. These gloves are seriously cold now. Yeah. I have to warm them back up. I have another bottle of water over there. That when I make tea, I will use fresh water. They do recommend when you boil up the first batch of water to throw it away, but since I'm somewhere where I need that heat in here, I can tell you it's bloody marvellous. It really is bloody marvellous. Yeah. My feet aren't bloody marvellous because it's cold. Oh, that's good heat coming off there. Let me take those off for a little bit. Get some heat into my hands. Whoever thought this out, this little hobo attachment, this piece here, is the reason that I bought this stuff. A, it's got the hobo attachment, and it's also made out of stainless. Yeah. I wouldn't have bought the aluminium one, even though it's a fraction lighter. I'm a great fan of stainless. There's nothing wrong with aluminium, don't get me wrong. Aluminium ones are perfectly good. But for me personally, I prefer the stainless. Blood going in my feet. Yeah, see, this has cooled down completely now. Yeah, it's very clever design. It's like a miniature rocket stove. Yeah, it's absolutely brilliant. I want to warm these sausages through. I want to warm them through, I don't want to burn them. It is chuffing cold. Right. Oh, better check that battery again in that camera. Right, I'm just going to have to switch this off for a second because this is getting really, really cold. Right, apologies, I did have to swap out that battery because it was done. It was like really low. So we need to get better heat in here. Oh, I've just put a whole bunch more what's names in there? Wood pellets. Get this fire going a bit more. I should think on sticks this would burn through pretty quick. Yeah. That's probably why you see people continually feeding them down from the top. There we go. That's better. Oh yeah. Right. Sausage is beginning to get a bit of colour now. But I want colour, I don't want burnt. I have noticed if you get too close to it, it's the same as any other fire, the smoke always comes towards you. Just making sure that my other water bottle is actually still liquid and not frozen. So I'm going to need that to make tea. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's good. Now, I need to put my cup near the thing because I don't want to put hot tea into a frozen cup because it will get cold really good. These little mouth guard things, I think that is brilliant. Whoever came up with that, that's brilliant. Well done. Yeah. I'm just going to put that a bit closer to the kettle, to the fire, so that it's not cold. Starting to get a bit of colour. Like I say, I want colour, not burnt. Yeah. Yeah, it's cooking pretty quick. And again, I want hot, not burnt. So yeah, if I put a pan on this and I had some good heat in there and what have you, I can get a fire going a lot quicker. However, the object of the exercise is to see whether it will work. Got some good sizzling going on. Yeah. I did discover if you put the grill piece on the top, make sure that the hinge lines up crossways, not towards the opening, otherwise it just folds up. My bread is freezing up pretty good. Nothing fancy about Dave's cooking, I can tell you. Yeah, it's going to warm that. My hands are so cold, I don't know if you can see them shaking. My hands are so bloody cold. Yeah. Yep. All the food that I brought with me is pre-cooked. Sausage roll was nice, I'll give you that. That was really nice. Yeah, it's starting to get a bit too hot to handle, that is. I wonder if it'll will it fit across that way, or will it roll off? Yeah, I'm not so keen on that. I think I'll keep them long ways. There goes another vehicle down the road. Remember, safety first. It may look good in videos. I mean, I could walk backwards and forwards across here, set up different camera angles and make it look like I was out in the middle of nowhere. But I don't know why people would want to do that. It looks good on the thumbnails, but in reality... So I don't make these videos for clicks and likes and all that kind of stuff. If people subscribe to my channel, that's great. If people want to watch them, perfect. Yeah. This is just videos of what I do and how I do it. I don't do this for just like what I call the social recognition. A lot of people do, I don't. I can tell you now, minus 10, minus 15, minus 20, it doesn't care how many subscribers you've got or how many likes or follows or clicks and all that other crap you get. It's minus 20 will kill you, and it'll kill you fast. Yeah. It's starting to smell really good, I can tell you that. I think that is probably... Oh yeah, that's too hot to handle. So, too hot to touch means time for a sausage sandwich. Oh god, that is good. She is toasty. Put that somewhere where I'm not going to damage the table. Whew. Sod's law, the wind is starting to come this way now. Get some flame, get rid of this smoke. They do actually work very well on wood pellets, I'll give them that. And what I'm supposed to do to increase burn is to turn that air hole around to the other side, because the wind, as you can see, is now going this way. Am I going to do that? Probably not. Because if anything hot falls out of there, I don't want it to land on the table and damage the table, and if it's around the other way, it's not my table, I don't want to damage it. Right, is that cooled down? Yeah. Yeah, I had this on here lined up that way, and obviously it folded up. So if you turn it 90 degrees that way, place that on there. I have another sausage. I'm not going to mess around. This one might get a bit charred, whatever. Extra carbon, good for the sandwich. I like to cook just on coals, I don't like to cook on mustard. Hey, I've got an extra slice of bread. Ah, well, look at that. That's handy. I did not know I bought an extra slice of bread. We do have tea. Oh, she's starting to get a bit sizzly there. That's a little bit too much, I think. Yeah, that's a little bit too much, but whatever. A little bit more. I like to cook on coals, I don't like cooking on flames. But with a wood stove you get what you get. That is hot. You hear it sizzling. So we will take that as done. Oh yeah. Woo. Yeah, she's hot. Oh yeah, that's good. No, I don't need that on there now. But I don't want to put that on the table because I don't want to burn it. In this temperature, I can tell you, it won't take long to cool down. That is good. Gordon Ramsay cooking. It is not. But it works. Right. That piece has cooled down enough. So can I get that off of there? Put that on there without also damaging the table. Right, let's tidy up some of this crap. Oh yeah, right, let's now one thing that is very important with these kettles is not to put them on there with no water in them. So I need to make tea. That's cold. That's about a half a litre. That should be enough. You'll notice I'm not standing up to go and do these things. There's a reason for that. The more I can keep my feet out of the snow, the better. Now, arrow facing downwards. 2 hands. Ooh, don't knock that off of there, that'd be bad. Get that back on that. You can hear all the snow. Look at the flames coming out of the top of there already. Right, let's see if these pieces are all done. That's still a little warm. That piece is still a little hot. I don't know if you can hear that. Sun's coming up nicely. This time of the year we don't get much sunshine. But I do have tea. What I'm gonna do, just warm that cup a little touch. Like I say, you do not want to be pouring hot water into a freezing cold cup, because that will make for a really disgusting cup of tea. Holy crap, that warms up fast. Wow. I can tell you now, if you did put that little cookie piece on the top, you'd be able to heat up stuff like real quick. Oh yeah, that gets hot and fast, very fast. It's cooled down yet. This is cooled down almost to the point that you can just pick it up, no problem. Oh, I see another vehicle. Oh yeah. You do not want to be pouring tea into a cold cup. tell you what, when you put that kettle piece back on the top of there, the difference to the orange glow in here is huge, because it just acts like a rocket stone. So the heat's going that way now, the flame's going that way. If I was to turn that hole around into the flame, that'd just be insane. Just nice and warm, I can tell you. My gloves are actually starting to freeze up, so I need to put them back on. You'll notice, you know, see I'm doing this. I'm making sure I got a finger down inside each one. That's a good habit to get into. I can tell you why, because if your hands are really, really numb and you put on gloves, you may not know it. Like, one of your fingers is not correct, it's not in the glove correctly, that can be dangerous. Yeah. So those have cooled right down now. They can go over there, because I'm going to be pouring boiling water again, as I did earlier. I do not want to be in a position that I can't jump out the way. So I will take one of my mitts. They can be a heat pad, because I do not want cold tea. Oh, and that sound is music to your ears to any Brit. That means kettle's boiled, tea's on its way. Now the advantage of having that little chain on the back that I put on there, it's so cold I can't actually see the water level. Because it's creating so much steam. There we go, and I don't want to put this on the table and damage it. So I think that will fit over the top of the metal base. There we go. So that cannot damage the table. Let's put that back in there. Oh. I don't know if that sun is coming up very well on the camera there. But, let me just give you a view over there. If I can actually turn this, it's actually froze up. My tripod thing is actually froze. That is insane, eh? Yeah. That is insane. It's actually froze. Yeah. I must have got a bit of snow on it. But, see, although, oh yeah, oh that is nice. Yeah, I know you don't drain a lot of heat off it, but I can tell you now, any heat is good. Yeah. Right. What I need is an improvised stirring stick. I've got to be careful getting this wet, because then I've got to dry it out. What can I use as a stirring stick? Oh well, I'll have to use this and just dry it out. Like I say, whenever you see people doing videos like this, if they are pouring milk in this now, you know 100% it is not -20 outside where they are, because in this time period, trust me, that milk would have set solid. Yeah. Oh. Guess who didn't bring a spoon with him? put that in the garbage. I know they're organic, and I see people throwing away stuff like that all the time because this has just had water on it. This is something you need to bear in mind in very cold weather. I've just had water on this. If I just put that away now without drying it, if I just did that, it'll freeze solid. Yeah, it'll freeze absolutely solid, so I've got to dry it out. Yeah. Oh yeah, which is good. Right, let's try my first cup of Kettle tea. Cheers, people. Oh, that's good. Well, that's not bad at all. Yep. Get some blood in my feet. Yeah, that's not bad at all. So, cheers, people. The Kettle is, without doubt, an amazing tool. It's at the peak of its design, isn't it? It really is. It's absolutely the peak of its design. Yeah. Oh, let me tell you, that is so nice. So I've got the heat from this little fire now. I have the heat from my hot water bottle, which is, I can tell you now, is toasty warm. And I wouldn't be sat here like this without a decent fire. Anybody that knows me knows I like a really big fire. I would not be doing this without this hot water bottle. People underestimate them. You've got to be able to get that heat from that fire into you. And the only way you can do that without setting fire to yourself is to either have a really big fire or transfer it in water. I have in the past, when I've been out camping, done the hot rock thing. You've probably seen that in some of my videos. And rocks will stay hot for a reasonable amount of time. But I can tell you now, the water in a hot water bottle, if I was to pour this now back into there and reheat it, bloody marvellous. I won't, because this is the first bit of water, and they do recommend to chuck out the first bit of water. It's going to turn into smoke now and just smoke me out, I suspect. So my question is, can I move that over there to the next piece over? Yes, I can. I'm just going to get the smoke to go that way. It's still putting off heat, so I don't want to do anything with it yet, because it's still actually putting off good heat. Just want to let it burn through, make sure there's nothing left in there. But I can tell you now, if you was to put that back on the top of there, the difference in airflow through here is just remarkable. Absolutely amazing piece of equipment. I was thinking about the physics of this, me being a former engineer. Thinking about the physics of this. This is absolutely brilliant. When you increase velocity in something, you decrease its pressure. Yeah. If you take a water pump, a pump works by, people think a pump throws water around like a car. Pump, away smoke. They think that the pump throws the water around the engine because it's been thrown off the end of the centrifugal force. It is not. What a pump does is it increases the velocity of that fluid towards the outside of the pump. You increase the velocity of the fluid, you decrease its pressure, so the centre of the pump has high pressure, outside of the pump has low pressure, therefore you've got flow. That's how flow works. With this kettle, because it's tapered inside, the velocity coming out the top of here, which is why the flames come out of here really fast and really quickly, that's why you can burn your hands. The velocity increases here, so the pressure must also decrease there. So you've got high pressure here at the hole on the bottom of the fire, and you've got low pressure at the top, so it's just going to run up there like a crazy thing. That's basically the principle of a rocket stove. People think it's just a chimney, but the inside of this, because it is tapered, it creates a venturi, a bit like the old carburetors. People will tell you that in a carburetor the fuel is sucked out through the vacuum. It is not. The fuel in a carburetor is pushed out by the air pressure in the float chamber. It is not sucked out by the air although it's a lower pressure, that lower pressure across the venturi creates a low pressure area. The pressure inside the float chamber is higher, so that's what causes the fuel to come out through the jet. It is not sucked out through the jet. And I've had people argue the toss with me about that one, and I can assure you that is exactly how it works. The high pressure in the float chamber pushes the fuel out, and it's the same with this. The high pressure air going in here, low pressure air on the top of the kettle, creates that whole rocket stove system. Just going to stir this up in here in case there's any unburnt fuel in here. You can see bits that are a different colour, so let's make sure they all get burnt up. Let's get those burnt. Oh yeah, there we go. Yep. So all in all, my impressions, I know this is a bit of a long-winded video because this is just how it's used. It's not edited into a nice little short video of, hey, look how wonderful it is, no dancing girls in bikinis and all that other stupid titles that people use, -20, you know, nothing but a towel and a candle, survival, blah blah blah. That's just bullshit. Avoid those videos if you can, because most of them are just garbage. They don't teach you anything. What they do actually teach you is how quickly you can die if you're out and actually try that stuff. And unfortunately, it does happen. That young guy stormed a bull. He unfortunately found out that very, very cold and not being able to walk, that's not a good combination. And it's a real shame because he had a real passion for what he was doing. You could tell in his videos he had a real passion for what he was doing. It was what was driving him. What's driving my feet crazy is the cold snow. So we will do something about that. So take those videos with a pinch of salt, because a lot of them are just made for clicks, likes and subscribers. That's all it is. This video is to demonstrate how you can use a Kelly kettle, but more importantly, what I do when I come out and do these things. I don't come out and do these things to make stunning videos, you know. I don't spend hours and hours and hours in post-production, you know. Oh, air crew. Why do we have air crew? Where are they going? Let's have a look. Oh no, that is. Yep. Yep, I know who they are. Yep. One of the pilots that works with those one of the pilots that works with those guys is the guy that came and buzzed me on March the 2nd. I was out in the middle of nowhere and got visited because my campfire was chucking up way too much smoke. A bit like this one now. Come on, wind, blow the other way. The wind is actually coming from that way now. That's a real pain. But I'm not going to be here much longer. You'll be glad to know that this video is almost done. Yeah. What I do have to do is pack up all this stuff, because I have to walk 20 miles back through the snow, this deep, uphill both ways. Alternatively, I just chuck everything in my pack and my car is parked just over there. That's the reality. That's not the visual, hey, look at me, I'm out in the middle of nowhere doing all this amazing stuff. That's not what that is. Yeah. This is reality. Yeah. Safety is number one. I know where that guy's going, that helicopter. If he's going where I think he's going, he should be coming back round in the loop over that way soon. That wasn't a bad cup of tea. So we will try that out. Again, anything with fluids on it, make sure you dry it before you put it away, because if you don't, in this weather, when you go to take it out your pack, it will become a permanent part of your pack until spring. Yeah. Yep. That is good. Right. Got a few wood pellets left. I'm not going to burn them off just for the sake of burning them off. The other thing I like about the Ziplocs, you can roll everything up and flat pack it. Yeah, I thought so. He's coming back round. I know exactly what he's doing. That'll be the same guy. Right, okay. So, thanks for coming along. Remarkably good tool. My first impressions of the Kelly kettle is absolutely bloody marvellous. It's one of those things, if you have a use for one, get one. Because I can tell you now, I mean, if I was to really crank it up and what have you, I can tell you now that thing will boil water way faster than my hoo-hoo stove, no comparison. But, I'm just letting that cool down a bit now. I will be tipping all that out there in a second. I am going to start packing up some of this kit, and I'll get back to you in a moment. So while I'm letting that all cool down, I'm just going to come over here a bit. Got to be careful because there's ice down in there and I don't know how deep it is. Right, so this is where I am. I have to say that sun is rather nice now. It'll be nice on the drive. The roads are really slippery on the way in here, really slippery. That battery on this one is almost done as well. Does not like the really cold weather, these batteries. So I will call that it. Thank you very much for coming along. Very much appreciated. Whoa. I'll wander over here with that. While I'm letting that cool down. Yeah, great spot. It's nice, isn't it? Yeah. Another table down there, that one's a bit close to the wall. Yeah. Yes, somebody's walked out straight across the lake there. It could be deer and stuff, who knows? Not sure. I wouldn't want to walk across there at the moment. I know the ice is reasonable, but I don't know how reasonable. Right, so I will call that it. I'm just going to go and pack all this stuff up. I don't know if you can see this camera shaking, but my hands are absolutely freezing. So I will go and get this packed up. Thank you very much for coming along. It's been a nice day. Great product. Very, very pleased with it. I got mine from the Canadian Outdoor Supply people over in Ontario there. Absolutely brilliant. Great service, and they followed up with me on some bits and pieces. So that was absolutely brilliant. Thanks very much. Right, I need to put this away because I am physically shaking. Thanks for coming along.